And we are live. Welcome to the Ravencast, RC Network Show, episode 11. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. We got a lot of topics. 2026 has been keeping us fucking busy. Literally, we got so much to talk about today. Hopefully, everyone is doing well. We got a lot of topics. In fact, a lot of breaking news ended up happening over the weekend. Trump's dinner got shot up, and we also got a Twitch e-girl that's apparently having slaves on stream, but because she's an e-girl, they're letting her get away with it. A guy
Yeah.
got arrested for a watch that he was trying to scam, but ended up being real. And we also got
Yeah.
and we also got Jim Mediker still obsessed with the sector, saying, I don't talk about the quartering and Ethan Ralph, but then talking about them." So we got a lot to talk about, a
Yeah.
lot to get into. But before we do all that, I'm gonna check up the panel and check up with the chat. Starting off with Digny. Digny, how have you been since our last Sunday show?
Oh, I've been doing very well, Triton. It's great to see everyone here, including the debut of Black Hitler, which will make this very interesting for a YouTube show. Um, One
By the way,
question I
you
will.
might need to change that, Jim, low key.
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's
I don't know
Black
about that.
Hitler. It's Black Hitler. It's not White Hitler.
It's
It's Black
yeah. It's
Hitler.
it. Yeah, it's Netflix Hitler, so it's okay.
It might be
I'm
totally
Hollywood. I'm Hollywood,
Yeah.
guys.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm actually an Arab, but yeah,
fine.
lots
I'm
of interesting
actually a
topics.
federal agent, so
And
I
I'm
choose
wearing
whether
Christmas
the shit gets put down
pajamas.
or not.
Yeah, lots of interesting things to talk about.
The
Thing I'm
terrorist
most
above me.
Look, you're the terrorist, okay?
Whoa, what
But
the fuck?
the
I only
most you work
bombed
for
two
the
people.
FBI.
Only
You
bombed two
work for the
people.
CIA.
No, I'm
I'll
with the
tell you this.
FBI. I stopped the 3,000 bombings a day, okay?
Okay, I'll tell you this. The most interesting part of today's show will be when we talk about Mr. Medicare, because why
Yeah.
isn't he dead yet? Didn't he have like turbo cancer AIDS
Like
5
the
Turbo
years
thumbnail,
AIDS.
like the
ago?
thumbnail,
Yeah.
like the thumbnail says, he's been dying. Jim, you've been dying for cancer 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
Dude,
Remember?
my fucking aunt has cancer and she got it like fucking 5 months ago. She got 3 months to live now. The fuck? How is this dude alive still after 7 fucking years? You know, more and more that dodging dodging debt collectors sounds more and more realistic every day, every
Yeah.
second, every waking moment of every day now. You know?
How have you been, Dan?
Man, I just had to investigate something that just happened last night. It was fucking insane, dude. God, it was crazy. It's insane.
In fact, I had something weird happen last night myself.
Dude, there was some dude who tried to, they tried to get Trump again, man. I had to stop him, bro. As a federal agent, I did my job pretty well.
Hmm.
Trump's still alive, guys. He's still alive. All thanks to me. So who's the terrorist now, motherfucker? I saved the president's life. I can't be a terrorist.
Speaking of people who have been a great inspiration for President Trump, Black Hitler, how have you been?
Well, see, I'm not Hitler per se. I'm Gitler, and see, I'm his cousin's former roommate. So I have no relation with him. I just studied him as a
Mm.
subject in school.
By the way, Ravencast does not support Nazi stuff, and I feel like we definitely need to be careful with that because, for one, we're on YouTube, so I recommend you change your profile.
Oh no, I'm LGBTQ adjacent. See, I love gay
Right.
people, and I love black rights.
See, this is funny
I do not
because,
agree with that man.
we now have
Get off this
inclusivity up
panel.
at the top.
Get off this panel. I'm going to call the ADL.
Yeah, get the
Southern
fuck out
Poverty
of here.
Law
Get out of
Center.
here. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Anyways, but yeah, and then
You're under arrest.
Then I'll do my introduction too. I've been good. In fact, last night, I had some weird experience, and that's the thing. I'm gonna give everyone just some life advice before we get into the topics in the show. That's the thing. If you're in the hood, always keep your doors locked. Always keep them locked.
Well, do
No
it
matter
anyway.
what,
Do
because
it
some
anyway.
meth head's gonna try to walk into your house. And last night, I was just watching YouTube. My friend was playing Rocket League, and some meth head opened the door and tried walking in. So
Mhm.
yeah. So that's why do not leave the door unlocked. But other than that, I've been doing good. We've been streaming a lot. In fact, our reviews are coming back up because of the thumbnail changes I've made. And I can't wait to get in the show. And it seems like, I see Muffin in the chat. I see Digny in the chat.
Triton, sorry to cut you off for a second, but I'm also being called like Dan is. You're going to have to hold the fort for our first topic in the first few minutes, okay? Be right back.
Hey, Triton.
It's the bottom
Bro.
Taco Tuesday. Yeah, the bottom is Gettler. Yes.
Fuck. Triton. I have to say something, bro.
What?
Dude, I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to leave this fucking stream because something just fucking happened IRL, bro. What the fuck?
All right, you're good. Just go ahead and I'll hold down the fort. You take care, man. Damn.
Just me.
I'm about to make a joke, obviously. This Masad trying to go after my stream. First, Dan leaves. Then Dindy's getting a call. Like, what the fuck's going on? No, I'm trolling. But anyways, let's get to our first topic. And that's the thing. Before we get into this, that's the thing. Trump's dinner, unfortunately, got shot up. Unfortunately, everybody is doing fine and doing well. So, no one got hurt. And I just want to say this, too. Y'all could be skeptical of it. Y'all can have whatever opinions you want. But I don't want to see anybody in chat celebrating this shit. And you will be banned if you celebrate, because that's the thing. We don't celebrate political violence on the Ravencast, and we do not support. But even though I've been critical of President Trump because of his betrayal of America, we do not support assassination attempts on him. And anybody that's caught celebrating that will be banned and disavowed by the Ravencast. So, yeah, please don't try it. Don't come in here try to be an edgelord. Trump deserved it. I'm an edgelord. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's just so dumb. That's so fucking stupid.
Well, I'm back now.
All right, welcome
I'm back now.
Anyways, all right, I'm doing my monologue.
All right. I didn't know that.
Sorry. I just don't like when people are in the middle. Like, you're good, but it's just I was in the middle of talking. But that's the thing. We don't celebrate assassination attempts and stuff. And that's the thing. Going through this, my take is that this stuff shouldn't happen. Now, doesn't mean you can't be skeptical of it. But let's go ahead and go into it.
Good.
So, by the way, welcome back, Digny.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where Dan is. Did he have to go?
Yeah, I had to leave because of IRL stuff.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it says, thank you to the Secret Service and law enforcement for protecting our president and acting quickly to subdue the shooter. There is no room in our country for political violence. And then he links to an article, and let's go ahead and pull up the article. Come on, bro. Sounds awfully LGBT.
Oh, damn. I wouldn't disagree with Thomas Massey's statement, but if you look at America from a historical standpoint, America was built on political violence.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's like, just because political violence has happened all of history doesn't mean we can't try to stop it or try to prevent it. Problem is both sides are complicit into the political violence. Both sides want to kill each other. Both sides want to celebrate each other's death, because that's the thing. I'm going to be real. It's like when Rob Renner died, Trump was celebrating his death. And I feel like that's not okay. Just like if Trump were to die yesterday and someone celebrated his death, I would have the same take of, hey, don't be celebrating that shit. And it's the same goes for MAGA too, because they're no better than the left when they celebrate deaths and shit like that. And honestly, this thing, America's built on political violence, but it doesn't mean it's right, and doesn't mean it's a thing that should be happening. And it can be stopped by both sides, but the problem is it benefits the establishment when political violence happens, just so they could push all these narratives on all the critics. Because that's the thing. As soon as this came out, Laura Loomer and all the MAGA accounts, instead of looking into the situation, they were blaming Muslims and Goipers immediately. So it's like, all this is just a way to fucking, blame people. Even if this did happen, with just things like, yeah, the assassination thing did happen. I personally don't think it's staged, but there's some other people that think it's staged. Honestly, that's their opinion, because at the end of the day, you can't trust anything that the government says. But let's go through what the information we have available. Trump cabinet evacuated from White House correspondent dinner after shots fired. President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and the cabinet were evacuated from the White House Correspondents' Dinner on Saturday night after shots in the Washington Hilton's lobby. 3 or 4 loud bangs were heard, according to reporters from the Hill who attended the dinner. People immediately dove under their tables to take cover before the president, first lady, and members of the cabinet were rushed out Washington Hilton, where the annual dinner has been held for decades. So it seems like this guy came and everyone immediately went under the tables to take cover. In fact, there's a video of JD Vance running away like a little coward, like, I gotta go.
I'll tell you this, though. RFK Jr. was like, I don't care. Most of my family's dead. I'm just going to stay here.
See, that's another thing. It's sad that RFK Jr. has more aura than JD Vance, because RFK Jr. is like, man, my family's already dead. I might as well just let God do whatever to me.
His voice is already fucked, so why not the rest of his body at that stage?
Yeah, it's like, my voice is already fucked. Why not just, let other shit happen to me? I don't give a fuck. Other cabinet members remained in the room after the shooting. See, that's the thing. It's like, not all the cabinet members were squirming, running away like JD Vance. They just remained in the room, having a lot more aura than the vice president. See, Trump needs to repick his vice president, because there's a lot more cabinet members that have a lot more aura than fucking your little friend JD Vance, who immediately, as soon as trouble happened, made sure himself was safe, but didn't give a fuck about anybody else.
I personally think it has a lot to. I personally think, though, Triton, it has a lot to do with their respective security detail, and most of that security detail was focused on the president and the vice president, especially the vice president, because he's a lot more mobile than the president is. So, hello there.
Hello there, Robbie. What's up?
Nice to see you. Don't worry. Go about your business. We'll let Triton read the rest of the article.
Sorry, I'm helping my dad.
It appeared the shooter was subdued before they were able to get into the massive ballroom where the dinner takes place. The press event has tight security. It is regularly attended by the president, cabinet secretaries, members of Congress, celebrities, and the press. The U.S. Secret Service, in coordination with the Mediterranean Police Department, is investigating the shooting incident near the main Mentimeter screening area at the White House Correspondent Dinner. Anthony Guillermo, Secret Service Chief of Communications, said in a statement, the president and the first lady are safe with all the protectees. One individual is in custody, and the condition of those involved is not yet known, and law enforcement is actively assessing the situation. Wing Jane of CBS News, the White House Correspondent Association president, later announced from the dialysis that the program will resume, and there were reports that Trump wanted to return to the Hilton. It was soon after canceled. Trump said it would be rescheduled. Trump initially offered the following statement on Truth Social. Quiet evening in D.C. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely, he wrote. The shooter has been apprehended, and I recommend we let the show go on. They're entirely guided by law enforcement. They will make decisions shortly, regularly after regardless of that decision. The evening lunch would be different planned, and we were just playing that that's a misspelling. Have to do it again. President Donald J. Trump. Later, Trump said he's been asked to leave the Hilton and all that, and that's the end of that. Now, there's one more thing I want to cover because the shooter's manifesto has been leaked, and we're about to go over that. But so far, I'm going to pull that up, but so far, is there any thoughts, gentlemen, on what we read so far?
I do.
I just like Robbie's whole setup. It's like I'm out in nature and having a great time.
Shout out to Robbie for touching grass. But Getler, what is your initial take on this, on giving the information you've read so far?
So my honest thoughts here are that how do we say this? Basically, my thought was is that first of all, how did the shooter, right? he did make it to the event. How did he even get past the screening? Okay, because you can't just like how did he get past the guards outside with his gun? And then how did he make it into the lobby? Because I know he made it just to the lobby. And then he flipped out and started gunning things, right? So how did he make it past the guards outside? That just didn't seem right to me, first of all. So basically, he makes it into the lobby and then freaks out and starts shooting. He doesn't make it inside. Like, how does that work? That doesn't seem right. Like, who gave him the clearance to enter the building? Because you would think Secret Service with snipers, position, and all that shit, right? They would be
There's a lot of
everywhere.
wind coming from your thing.
I know. I was stopping a minute, but
Go inside.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. But honestly, though, but to answer your question, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's like the wind just ear rape because I have fucking headphones in. That's why I complain because I have that shit like turned up to the
that's
maximum.
fine. It's fine.
But anyways, but that's the thing. Honestly, that is a valid question, though. Getler brings up a really, really great point. Is how do they get past security? Because I've been to DC, right? I've been there. Me and Dan did the March for America, and when we entered the Capitol building, they had metal detectors. They had security everywhere. There's like so many checkpoints and stuff. So it's like, how did this guy pass the security checkpoints, surpass all the security guards, and how did he get there with a gun? Because because that's the thing. The White House security is so fucking tight that if you come in with just a fucking pocket knife, you're not allowed in. So it's like, how did he get past security? Like, there's a lot of questions to be had about it. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with asking questions about it. Because that's the thing, because there is a lot of questions, and Getler does bring up a good point. And whenever the wind is done, he can finish bringing up his good point. Because that's the thing. You did bring up a lot of good questions so far, because there's a lot of questions of, how did he get in? Like, that's the thing. I've had that same question too. Like, how did this guy get in? How did he pass all the security measures? How did he, go in and basically, able to do all this? Like, it's just so fucking weird to me. It makes me.
Trump's security is rare in presidential terms. Trump's security is rare in the amount of times that his own security has put his life in danger. By a country mile, Trump's presidential security has been the worst security of modern presidential American history. Not even close. Not even close. I will tell you for a fact, for a man who touts himself as being one of the great presidents, his security apparatus is shameful. He should be ashamed. His team should be ashamed. They were all there. The fact that they were all there was a mistake and a security risk in that of itself. President and the vice president aren't supposed to interact. Look, if Trump is in America, have Vance go abroad. If Vance is in America, Trump goes abroad. That sort of thing. Okay? Having most of the American cabinet in the same room, that's mental. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's definitely a big mistake on their part to have everyone there, because like, of course something like that's going to happen, because that's the thing. You're putting all the figures in one room, and some dumbass libtard like that guy is going to have that stupid idea of, oh yeah, let's go try to do attempt assassination, and shit like this happens. And it's just like, that's the thing. Like, you're not supposed to just put everyone in danger. And I feel like they put everyone in danger. They put Vance in danger. They put Trump in danger. They put everyone in danger by having this thing. There's another Getler entering. Is that you?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Yeah, they're all right.
My internet dumped out.
All right, you're good. Anyways, so yeah, honestly though, I feel like you were asking the right questions, and if you have anything else or any other questions you want to add, because I feel like that was a good question. Because like we said, even like, how come they got past the security, the strict security? Because I've been to DC and their security was strict on me and Dan. So it's like, why would they strict on this guy who committed a fucking shit? Like, come on.
Sorry if you can hear, it's my fan, but it's kind of hot in my room. I also closed the door so we won't have interruptions from downstairs with noise. All right. In any case, basically what I'm saying is if you got into the lobby, okay, like you would think there would be snipers, there would be people patting people down, unless you're high priority like the president or Vance, or people that they know aren't a risk, like senators, congressmen, actual people on the list. Otherwise, you're like, if you're press, even you'd be patted down for like weapons. And after what happened, what president was it that was almost killed by a press agent back in the day? I forget which, but there was an attempt, and they got him. But after that, like, every president since then has patted down the press when they come into the building and searched them. So why the hell wasn't, I get it, it's not on Capitol Hill, it's not on the White House, but still, why didn't you do your fucking job and make sure he didn't even come into the damn lobby and arrest him and send him packing?
Most of, I'll repeat this, but in a more refined way. Most of Trump, and in fact the Trump administration security teams, are essentially private security. Just like everything Trump has done throughout his time, he's gone against the grain politically. In the past, and Biden had this, Biden had specific government-trained security forces. All presidents are supposed to have that. In fact, all presidents have since the assassination of JFK. Right? Trump specifically made it clear, I don't want government security. I want my own security. Because he thinks that he can better control his own security systems, right? An ego-driven decision, as usual, from the man. And in doing so, he has compromised not only his own safety, but the safety of his administration on multiple occasions, because government-trained security designed to protect world leaders, is better than private security.
Because
as much as you want to,
private security, they're not as trained as the
of course not.
Government security. And
designed.
That's why like I feel like Trump's security thing was such a failure, is because he's had these private people that are just normies and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're not doing the fucking checkpoints, not doing all this stuff at his events. Because that's the thing. I don't like Sleepy Joe, but how come Joe Biden's security was better? Because that's the thing. They were all government trained security. And that's why even someone like Trump, you need government trained security. And that's the thing. I get Trump's point of view of not trusting the government security because, that's the thing. The establishment will use that against it. But at the same time, it's like you need people that are more skilled if you want to, be protected more better and not have all these attempts happen.
There was a time, folks, when U.S. presidents could only have their own security. There wasn't really a government-based presidential security system prior to the 60s. Okay, the assassination of JFK completely changed the equation. So it
basically changed the landscape.
Yeah, it changed the landscape, and for a time it became compulsory. It stopped being compulsory around the time of Obama, but no one honestly believed a presidential candidate, or a president for that matter, would not have government security. Well, Trump went against the grain, and he's been paying the price for it time after time. At the end of the day, it's on him. It's on him. We are in tumultuous times, and you've got to understand that as much as we rightfully condemn the deep state and all of its nefarious activities, it isn't exactly a win for them if a sitting president is assassinated, because we're all going to blame them for it. Mm-hmm. Let's face facts here. We would also, just like we do with JFK, we suspect it's the deep state apparatus that done him in. to reinforce their power around presidents. You can make that argument. But from my perspective, this is just another instance of Trump's security team failing. Someone cloned Dan Bongino and gave him a glue wig and told him, go and take out the president. Because that's what it looks like here. Look at this guy. You might want to zoom in.
All right, let's go ahead and. But yeah, here's.
No, I didn't mean the picture. I meant the actual page.
I don't know. How do I zoom in on that?
How do you zoom in on your computer?
No, I meant like on the screen. Like, what are you trying to zoom in?
So I can actually see what we're seeing, because it looks like widescreen. Right?
Hold on. I don't know. I mean, I can read. You can see it just fine. It's just I don't know. How do I zoom in like on this? Like, it's not letting me.
But on a desktop, you go to the three. What operating system are you using for a start?
I am using internet browser. Can I just read it?
Well, I use Edge for some reason, but there are 3 dots on the top right-hand side, right? And you go to Zoom, and you can zoom in. No, not on X. On actually your.
That's what I'm doing. It says it's at 100%. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, you got to zoom in more, so I can actually see what's being typed.
There you go. You can see now.
There we go.
I feel like better. It's just a little. All right, there you go. All right, so y'all ready to read? All right, so so the White House California dinner shooter Cole Allen's manifesto reads, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and a traitor to my cult hands with his crimes. Turning the other cheek is for when yourself are oppressed. I'm not the person raped in a detention camp. I'm not the fisherman executed without trial. I'm not a school kid blown up or a child starved or a teenage girl abused by the many criminals in this administration. Turning the other cheek is when someone else is oppressed. This is not Christian behavior. It's complicity in the oppressor's crimes.
It's like, dude, they're going to throw the book at you.
Bro, not only that, but trying to assassinate the president, that's not a Christian move itself. See, this is why I can't stand a lot of these libtards, because these people want to justify their stupid fucking behaviors with shit and justify. That's the thing. Don't get me wrong. There is legitimate criticism of this administration. There is legitimate criticism. Trump's not the best president. In fact, he's probably one of the worst presidents in history. But it doesn't mean you should go and try to assassinate him and ruin your fucking life. Because this is the problem, is this makes all of us look bad. This makes people like me look bad. This makes all the people that have legitimate criticisms of President Trump look like shit when you write shit like this and go try to assassinate the president. You fucking moron libtards. Like, come the fuck on. These people are so fucking stupid. This is why I wanted to cover this, because these people are just so fucking stupid. They're trying to justify actual criticisms as a way to do political violence. That's how you destroy criticism. That's how you give Trump and the admin credibility, is doing shit like this. It's not America first to go try to kill the president. It's not America first, or even in the Christian value, to go assassinate the president. If you want Trump to be punished for his crimes, you have to do it the legal way, and you have to call him out, and you have to pressure the Congress and Senate to impeach him the right way. I think he should be impeached. I think he should be removed from office. But doesn't mean I think he should be assassinated while he's the fucking president. That's so fucking stupid. That solves nothing. Political violence solves nothing. It doesn't solve anything. Trump's reputation's already down the toilet, and he's already going to probably end up going to jail after this. Why are you just going to give him a fucking W by trying to fucking go and kill him? That's all you're doing, is giving him a W. All you're doing is giving him credibility. You're giving him a credibility boost. You're giving these MAGA tards on Twitter saying, you probably would be the time to celebrate this. You're giving them talking points against people like myself, Nick Fuentes, and other people that actually do legitimately have good criticisms. In fact, people are using this to attack Tucker Carlson. They're using it to attack the right people that actually have good criticisms against Trump. This doesn't work at all. And that's the problem. And I think you should be fucking jailed, and I think the shooter should be executed. Because at the end of the day, if you try to kill someone, you should be killed. And I don't care if that's a hot take. If you try to kill the president, then you should be fucking executed for that, because that's a treason. That's literally fucking treason, trying to kill our leader. You don't have to like our leader. I sure don't like a fucking leader. I sure know he ain't doing good for America. I know Trump's fucking damaging the American empire, but killing him just creates more chaos, and killing him just fucking makes everything worse. And that's the problem is you, if y'all try to go take him out and shit, it just gives him credibility. And
well,
go ahead.
We have to consider, because folks, this has happened before, and who knows, it might happen again. But there is a few examples of what happened to presidents who got assassinated. Now, yes, these instances happened either a long time or a very long time ago, but their consequences can still be evident to this day. When Lincoln was assassinated, his successor essentially restructured the Reconstruction era to extend the period of from slavery to segregation in the American South. When you look at the assassination of JFK, you look at LBJ and his disastrous administration, which paved the way for Nixon and Watergate and the tumultuous period of the 60s and 70s, the late 60s and the 1970s. So when we look at a potential scenario in which Trump is assassinated in this particular moment, a lot of things could change. Now, would it be as impactful as the time he could have been done in before he was reelected? I don't think it would be as impactful as prior to his election when he was making that speech. But I do honestly believe that it could have been a lot worse. Imagine this guy not just succeeded against the president, but the vice president, the secretary of state.
Or all three of them. Like, imagine he did all three of them, then who's going to run the country?
Some old guy. Or RFK Jr. He just guns everyone down. Say the wrong doors had been locked and security people couldn't get in. It would have been a massacre. Massacre caused by one man.
And that's why it's important to have government-trained security instead of just private people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because no one's did any fucking special checks. No one, because that's the thing. If they did, they checked for weapons and shit. This guy wouldn't even got in. It's like, where were the outside guards? Where would all this shit? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, I don't know if this is staged or not. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's some evidence that says it's not staged. There's some evidence that says it is, and it's like, as of now, we don't know if this is real or not. We don't know. We can't really trust the government for shit. The government has lied to us so fucking long, and when shit like this actually does happen, you can't even fully trust it because the government is known for lying, known for false flags. In fact, Israel was doing false flags in fucking UK and other parts of Europe. So it's like Israel's literally known for false flags, or Trump works with Israel. So it's like, how do we know this is a false flag or not? And I'm not saying it is because I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, it's just really fucking weird that security was this fucking stupid, this fucking slow, especially when everyone was in that building. Like, if I was the president, even if I had private security, I would make sure that my private security knew what the fuck they were doing. And if they didn't, I would fire them and get people that knew what the fuck they were doing. Like, that's the thing. It's just, I don't know. All this seems weird to me. And I've been critically conditioned to ask a lot of questions. And I'm asking a lot of fucking questions now because that's the thing. This shit, you don't know if this is fucking real or not. And that's the thing. Regardless of not, even if this is, like, I'm glad, like, one positive thing to come out from all of this is Trump's all right, Vance is all right, Marco Rubio's, like, all the people are all right. Even the neocons I don't like, it's a positive that they're all right too. Because that's the thing. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got injured. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Is who got injured, and nobody got injured. So I'm actually thankful for that nobody did get injured, because then it would have been a lot worse if someone would have got killed or injured, because then there would be a lot more conspiracies, a lot more people freaking out, a lot more people not trusting the government and all that. But seems like this one was, quickly handled, even though, like, that's the thing, they kind of fucked up the security process. But however, you do got to give them credit, though. At least security, they did, as soon as they saw the shooter, they did stop the shooter from killing any innocent people. So even though, like, you can criticize security for letting this guy in and basically not doing their job of keeping this guy out, you can at least say they did identify and solve the problem really quickly. So it's like, yeah, as much as you can shit on the security for their handling of it, you can still praise them for doing their job and saving lives, even though, like, this all could have been avoided. That's my criticism of the securities. Like, this could have all been avoided, but at least they were able to solve the problem, and at least they did their job and prevented anybody from getting hurt. And honestly, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Do any of y'all want to give your final thoughts on this topic? Because I'm going to start with Digny. Digny, what's your thoughts of all of this?
Well, regardless of the situation, Trump's going to get his way with his ballroom now. I don't know if he's even going to get it finished by the end of his term, but the precedent is set now, or could be set, where, yeah, we just do it all in the ballroom, in Trump's ballroom. So you could have that mindset, but who knows? The next Democratic president comes along and tears it down, tears everything Trump did down, because quite frankly, when you build your politics around, we don't like this guy, you're going to tear down everything he built.
Mm-hmm. Especially in this, and that's why I've never been for the political division shit, because that's the thing. This political division shit got so bad to the point where every time a Republican comes in and they push policies, Democrats just come, fuck it up, and then when Democrats push their own policies, Trump or whoever comes fucks it up. It's just like, that's the thing. Two-party division is what's killing America, because we can't even run our government right, because everyone's trying to basically change the fucking laws, change the amendments to their own agenda instead of the America First agenda, instead of like the agenda that the founding fathers would want. They just care about their own selfish interests and their own selfish party interests.
Oh, yes. I mean, the thing about the founders that a lot of people don't realize is that America's founders rejected politics as a concept, yet they also endorsed political violence as a means to an end, which is exactly the opposite of the political discourse in America 250 years later. We have a political structure that doesn't believe in political violence, I think rightfully so, but supports a political process in the two-party system. Two-party system didn't exist during America's founding, which is why I make the narrative argument, and you can put this into fiction, of if America's founders were alive today, if they had risen from the dead through some sort of life orb or something, they would start another revolution against the existing system, because 250 years later, it's the exact opposite of how it was formed. Well, I mean, as much as we should rightfully condemn political violence in the 21st century, we condemn it because we consider ourselves to be above it in this day and age. We don't condemn it because it's not effective. We condemn it because it's not moral. It's as simple as that. I mean, if political violence didn't exist throughout human history, the United States wouldn't exist, People's Republic of China wouldn't exist. In fact, most nations that exist today would not exist without the concept, the immoral concept of political violence. So I think what I'm getting at in this whole situation is, it's not nice, but it happens. We've got to try our best to prevent it from happening, but it does sadly happen, and we must do all that we can to reduce its likelihood. But the best way to reduce the likelihood of political violence is for the people to have just as much of a say in the running of a country as government and as corporations. And we don't have that. We don't have a balanced institutional triarchy between the three institutions. We have a very powerful government, we have very powerful corporations, and the people as an institution are weak and divided. Can't have a fair system based on that. So of course there's going to be political violence as an outlet for that frustration.
I think violence is the thing of last resort, but if you take it off the table, your enemy has already won. But that's the thing. My opinion on it's like if you're if you're like violent to someone just because of retaliation, it's like that's different from doing violence that's unprovoked. Because if someone's doing violence to you, obviously, you're gonna have to defend yourself. Like violence and defense is different from violence that's unprovoked, basically. Because like if there's a political party trying to come after you and then you go after them back, it's like technically the person that started it is in the wrong because they're the one that started the violence first. Getler, what is your thoughts on the whole the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump?
My whole thought process is that, first of all, I think that he was paid to do it. You got him. His residence was California. First off, second off, he was of that descent, Muslim descent. And then the third thing is he got into the lobby because of the private security issue, correct? So those three factors make me concerned of who's really the one that got him to do it. And he was a teacher to boot. So, yeah.
He also had like Teacher of the Month too.
Yeah, so this is a unique situation that screams either inside job or someone paid to have it done.
It certainly wasn't sophisticated. A sophisticated operation to do in high government officials in a setting like that, it's the number one thing. You infiltrate the kitchen staff. You put something in the food, they all die.
Mm-hmm.
That's if it were a sophisticated. This wasn't a sophisticated operation. This was a means to an end. Now, what was the means and what was the end? I don't know. But if a powerful authority wanted all of these people gone, then it would be entirely possible to capitalize on the weaknesses of Trump's security team, to just infiltrate the kitchen staff, put something in the food, put something in the wine, and do them all in, or do a few of them in. Say they have upset stomachs a few days later, and they shit themselves to death. Has happened before in history. So I don't think this was a sophisticated operation. I think it was just a lunatic of the opposition who traveled not halfway, completely across the United States to take a chance. And the chance didn't pay off, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Robbie is still searching for a hiding spot to give his perspective, and we wish him all the luck in the world in getting an internet signal in the middle of a field. So on that note,
On that
ladies and
note, we
gentlemen,
can move on to the second topic, unless Robbie wants
Yes.
to unmute. Also, hey, it's on just in time because you're getting into our second topic, which is a Twitch e-girl having a slave and the Twitch CEO defending it. Oh my god. This is actually a funny-ass topic. Yeah, no, I'm not fucking kidding with you. Yeah, hold on. I'm about to pull it up. But no, literally, like, so basically she had this guy pretend to, like, be some slave for her and, like, crawl around like it's like a pet.
Yep.
Crawl around as like a pet and shit.
Have you locked your doors, Triton?
That was my roommate. But anyways, but yeah, like that's the thing. She had this guy running around as like a slave, and then the Twitch CEO said there's no TOS violation. And it's like, but we know why. It's because that's the thing. Like you're only allowing it because she's a thought, and that's the thing. Twitch has a double standard rule. Let's go ahead and pull this up.
Oh yeah, we know Clancy does.
Just because
Yeah,
it was
they've got-
Clancy.
Yeah, and it is Dan Clancy that's defending this too. Watch the hold on. Right. All right, there we go. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy responds to Morkpie having a human slave on stream, and there's the slave in the background. It doesn't violate our TOS, and she wasn't viewboarding. As far as I'm concerned, this also appears to be consensual. I admire the invitation the streamers bring to the platform. If this was reversed, and this was a man doing it to a woman or a man doing it to a black guy or whatever, that guy would be fucking banned. He would be gone instantly. But because it's a woman doing it to some random simp, he doesn't give a fuck. Dan Clancy finds it attractive, I think, or some shit. Like, come on. This is such a fucking weird ass
Dan Clancy in the cuck chair.
Dan Clancy, yo, he's literally in the cuck chair. Like, literally. Dan Clancy in the fucking cuck chair watching this shit. Oh, yeah, I like this. I wish it was me. That's probably what he was thinking. I wish it was me. I wish I was the slave. Oh, yeah, I wish it was me. Why wasn't it not me? That's probably his first start seeing it. It's like, oh, man, I wish that was me in the video. They're all fucking simps. They're all fucking feminist, retarded simps. Like, literally. So I give him
It's so sad that of all the platforms out there, Twitch is one of the highest viewed and has the highest watch time of any other platform in this space. And it used to be a lot higher, which makes it even sadder.
I know, and I don't know why people enjoy. I've had a Twitch account, but I never really enjoyed Twitch because Twitch censorship's just that bad. You can't even say that's why I never streamed on Twitch. You can't even say the word retard as an autistic person. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I ain't gonna stream on this platform because platforms are just so sensitized and so fucking stupid and dumb. And it's like, bro, like, come on. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, Twitch is like has a lot of double standards. So I'm gonna give perspectives across the panel because I basically gave mine already because I think this is a fucking stupid double standard. Digny, what do you make about Dan Clancy allowing Morgpie to have a slave on stream? Basically a sex slave.
First of all, Twitch supports streamer slavery. And since I am dressed up as Arab Digny based, second of all, are we really surprised? And given how Kick welcomes attempted murderers, actual murderers, all sorts of nefarious people, Twitch is upping their game to compete with Kick and to get their viewers back from Kick. Kick has done very well as a result of Twitch by allowing batshit insane stuff on their platform that makes this look mild, right? If you want to go to a place to actually do crazy things, go on Kick. It's the perfect place for you. Crash a car, run someone over, use a sledgehammer skull test. Guys, there is a sledgehammer skull test on Kick where people test out new sledgehammers on people's skulls. It's mental. And it's one of it's not but it's Twitch, YouTube, Facebook for some reason, and Kick. Kick is the fourth most watched social media live streaming platform because they combine the two on Earth. And it's not even. Is Kick even 5 years old?
I don't think so. I can look that up real quick.
It's an incredibly big platform in a way that other independent platforms like Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, they're drops in the ocean compared to Kick. Never mind YouTube or Twitch. And I want to make this very clear.
It's not even 5 years. It's not even 4 years old. It was launched in 2022 of December.
Yeah. This is a platform.
4 years old and Kick's already like the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth biggest live streaming platform. You've got Twitch, YouTube, then Facebook really surprised me, but considering Facebook to this day is still the biggest social media site, It's not really surprising. Then it's Kick. And then there's Other. No one else even gets registered. And that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Not even X. Although you don't really get many live streams on X. They don't have that functionality. But Twitch don't give a damn. If you're bringing in people and money, you can do what you want. You can electrocute your dog. You can support streamer slavery. It doesn't matter. We need money and people. Keep doing what you're doing. And it is driven a lot by desperation because Twitch used to be number one in the live streaming space by a country mile. They used to have a monopoly on the live streaming space.
Yeah, I remember
for years.
that.
Now
and
it's
I never even
competitive.
understood why. I was always critical of that back in like 2020, 2021. I was like, why is Twitch number one? Twitch is literally the most censored of them all. But for some reason, the popular people and the popular opinion bought into Twitch's grift, and even fucking stupid commentary channels that are went on.
They also have a bias against VTubers.
Yes. But before YouTube adopted live streaming, Twitch had a monopoly on live streaming. And YouTube realized that, and YouTube realized the only way we can bring down this beast is to provide some kind of alternative. Two really big things happened to Twitch from the outside that have really damaged them. One was YouTube getting into live streaming.
The other thing was getting bought by Amazon.
Now, I'll tell you this, Torrin. Twitch being bought by Amazon was the best thing that ever happened to that company. If Amazon hadn't bought Twitch, Twitch would have died in 2014. Would have been dead. Because the concept could only work with massive support and backing.
Why do you think
Amazon's
YouTube
never made a profit off of Twitch. They've never made a profit.
Why do you think YouTube let Google buy them out? Because it helped make YouTube what it is today.
I hate publicly traded companies, though. That's the thing.
No, I know. I mean, I hate them too, but it's just like business-wise, in order for you to be mainstream, that's all you got to do. I mean, that's what you have to do. And YouTube, Twitch,
the reason why I hate them is because it's literally a circle jerk to please your investors. And that's literally it.
That's why I don't agree with a lot of these.
Of it.
That's why I don't agree with sites being mainstream, because it's literally just ruins the concept. Because look at Discord, look at all the sites that were before they were mainstream. You could say whatever you want. You could be as edgy as you want. You could do whatever the fuck you want. It was the Wild Wild West. But then, as soon as the media companies came and took over, all of a sudden, when mainstream media came, when Discord was bought out and all these other sites were bought out, all of a sudden, all the sites began to put anti-censorship laws, anti-free speech laws, and all this shit, basically censoring the fuck sites, and you can't even make edgy jokes anymore because, oh my god, you're gonna piss off the investors. Oh my god. YouTube. When people like Mama Max did YouTube Wake Up and targeted the advertisers, it brought more censorship to the platforms because they were targeting YouTube sponsors. That's why I was always against Mudahar and Mama Max's YouTube Wake Up movement, because they were targeting advertisers. To be honest,
the sponsors are run by little bitches anyway.
No, but that's why you shouldn't be targeting the sponsors, because they're ran by little bitches, and when you do that, YouTube's going to automatically pick the sponsors, and there's going to be a lot of censorship laws because guess what? You got these fucking dickheads and these media companies and all these different people attacking these bitch-ass sponsors that don't know how to say fucking no. Don't know how to fucking just take fucking slander. I'm so scared of being slandered. Oh!
Well, you have to consider the fact that sponsors only make that, because at the end of the day, when you're in the business world, the only thing that counts is money. Okay, sponsors need all the connections they can get, and they don't even risk one. They don't even risk one connection because they know, bottom line, consumers, customers, they're unreliable, whereas their connections are far more reliable. And that is why a lot of these corpo rats do what they do. They see customers as loyal to a point, but their connections, they're always loyal as long as you follow a specific rule set that we don't completely know, but they know. And the same applies to Twitch. I mean, Google,
like that incident with Elon Musk recently. Remember the advertising firm that was being a little bitch, and Elon Musk exposed their asses.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I did see
And
that.
what did all the advertising sponsors do for a time torrent? They cut off X. And for a long period of time, X was bleeding out money like an Indian falling off a train. Now they came back because they came to the realization that we can do more inside than outside. That's exactly what they've done. X is no less compromised than Twitch. I mean, look at the amount of creators whose accounts have been hacked recently.
Sneeko was one of them. There's like a lot of people just being hacked and shit because of all that. X is not even protected like it used to be before Elon. And that's the thing. I like the free speech part of X. I'm not gonna lie. Like my stuff hasn't been flagged ever since I did have my main account get taken down under Elon. But other than that, it's like X has been a lot better. The free speech things, you can say what you want. But it's like I feel like X is just way too lenient because the advertisers are going to use all that. And then whenever Elon gets dethroned or Elon has to cave in, X is going to lose the free speech aspect. It's going to be like YouTube, Twitch, and all these other platforms censored. That's why
let me tell you a fact of life, folks. Let me dare to tell you a fact of life. If you want to fully speak your mind in this day and age, you go to a place where no one watches and no one listens. You go to Rumble, you go to BitChute, you go to Odyssey, and I'm sure there are others. DLive's dead. Pilled. I'm sure there are other sites as well. If you want to go somewhere to make a difference, you're going to have to tighten your lips, say the right things, and then give your own perspective every once in a while on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. If you want to be a crazy fucking lunatic, go on Kick, okay? So this show will probably be a Kick exclusive where, at the end of every topic, we strangle a cat or something because that's the only way you can get viewers on Kick doing something insane. But the point is, you go to speak your mind totally on these platforms not a lot of people watch, but you draw in the viewership on platforms where a lot of people watch, and then you pipeline them from one platform to another. The only good thing about Rumble is your ability to speak your mind. And I have directly experienced.
I want to respond to this chatter. I want to respond to Nick real quick. Too lenient. When I say too lenient, I don't mean too lenient on everyone. I mean too lenient on people that are on his side. That's the thing. Even Elon Musk is anti-censorship, but not anti-censorship. Even Elon is pro-censorship, but that's the thing. With people don't understand with Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is only pro-free speech for people on his side, for people on the Trump side, for people that basically, for his he's only free speech for himself. He ain't free speech for everyone else, and he's too lenient on the people that are on his side, and he's basically punishing everyone else. Basically, is what I'm.
Same old story, but in reverse.
Same old story, but reverse, basically.
I just want to make it clear for people. You want to speak your mind? Totally and without limits, go to a place that doesn't matter. If you want to make a name for yourself and make a difference, you got to moderate yourself and go to the places where all the people are. I've learned from this directly. I have directly experienced. You can't condemn what I am saying here because I've lived through it. It's my, to quote left-wingers, lived experience. Because I was a radical. I had a lot of support. I was on shows 10, 100 times my size as a content creator at my peak. And I didn't change at all. And I paid the price for that. I paid the price for not moderating myself and reaching more people and pipelining them in. That's the strategy we've got to do. We've got to moderate our mindset on the popular platforms to get the audiences. And then we have this radical edge on these smaller platforms, and we pipeline people in. It's the only way now. Because if you are completely and utterly yourself in what you do, you're going to get wiped out on YouTube. You're going to get wiped out on Facebook. You're going to get wiped out on Twitch, especially
ask
Twitch,
our friend,
right?
ask our friend Jace from Cancel This Podcast. He has to be Rumble exclusive because all the platforms wiped him out for just having quote unquote harsh opinions. And it's like,
oh yeah,
I personally believe you shouldn't be banned for having harsh opinions because at the end of the day, if you have stupid opinions that are harsh or crazy, why not just have people debunk them? That's the point of America, right? Is to debunk other people's opinions. But no, they don't even do that. They just want to just censor extreme quote unquote opinions instead of just, telling people how they're wrong.
From my perspective, let's look at Twitch. You want to make a difference on Twitch? First of all, transition. Second of all, show your tits. And third of all, get a mate to dress up in a GIMP outfit to be your human slave. I'm not kidding.
I hate
Not kidding.
subhuman abominations.
Yes.
You
That is
basically
Twitch in a
have
nutshell.
you basically
Well done,
have
Bob.
to be like that. So I'm gonna get Gatler, what is your perspective? Because I asked Torin, I think. Gatler, what is your perspective on Dan Clancy simping for a Morgan Pie for having a human slave on stream? You even there?
No, I'm shitting myself, Triton. I'm shitting myself.
Okay, there you are. All right. So, what do you make of Dan Clancy being a simp for Morg Pie and basically letting her have a slave on stream? But if this was a guy, he would basically ban him. Like, what's your thoughts on
Modern day Hugh Hefner. That's basically it.
Fair enough.
And what is the legacy of Hugh Hefner? He was celebrated. Now, a few of the ladies who are part of that thing are like, no, he was a bad guy. But the legacy of Hugh Hefner is of an American icon. I don't think the same thing can be said of Dan
Most
Clancy.
of those women were probably lying for clout anyway.
You never know. You never know in this
know.
day and age.
He died around the Me Too era, so it wouldn't surprise me.
But let's face facts, guys. Twitch has never made a profit. They need all the eyes they can get. They need all the sponsorships they can get. They need all the creators they can get. They can't afford, literally, they can't afford prominent Twitchers going elsewhere, especially the Kick. I mean, the amount of damage Twitch has suffered as a result of Kick becoming a thing is quite frankly unbelievable. Twitch went from having a massive monopoly in the live streaming space in 2016 to now it's a competition between them, YouTube, Facebook, and Kick for supremacy. So they have to appeal to as many prominent live streamers as possible, which means allowing egregious stuff like this. There was one instance, guys, and I'm not kidding, where Twitch put a diaper furry on their front page. A guy who was into furry diapers. Yes, that crazy stuff, Robbie. Yes.
While Robbie's here, because I know he's going to go AFK, Robbie, you want to give your take on Dan Clancy allowing this E-thought to have a human slave? I'm sorry, I kind of laugh every time I say it, because that's literally not fucking real. You're on mute.
I gotta turn this down real quick and then repeat it to me. Give me a second.
His systems I don't think are working properly. Don't worry.
No, even though
I
think he's outside, like listening to music while he's on here with his phone.
That's
but
fine. Don't worry.
We'll wait on him though. But I'm not gonna lie. Like there he comes. Let's see.
Try repeating the question.
All right.
Now,
Robbie, can you hear me? All right. Unmute because you're about to answer. So, what's your thoughts on Dan Clancy simping for Morgan Pie for having a human slave on stream and not banning her when he would ban someone else for doing that same thing if they wasn't a woman or training?
It's not really surprising to me, which is double standard. They've shown this throughout years.
Dude, you're gonna have to turn off the music. We can barely hear you.
I mean, I heard.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
All right, so I'll translate.
Alabama.
I'll translate for people. He basically said like it's not surprising that they would have a double standard like this, basically. And honestly, it's not surprising at all. Like, is anyone really surprised that Dan Clancy's being a simp and basically giving these Twitch thoughts more attention? Because that's the thing. Twitch is literally the home of thoughts, literally home of thoughts, e-girls, drones. Basically, it's like mainstream leftist YouTube. That's all it is. It's mainstream leftist YouTube.
The sad thing about it, Triton, and I'd like you guys to understand this, is that all these prominent, whether they're famous or infamous creators, are falling for this trap where they have to appeal to the lowest common denominator, the vast majority of people, which is leading to more and more egregious, nonsensical activities, from having a human slave on display to, go-karting in Italy or playing Mario Kart or just having a look at what Nick Fuentes is doing in Italy. It's quite frankly a goddamn joke. What the hell is he doing in Italy?
Apparently, which I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up too, because apparently Candace Owens is in that same. They're both there too, and a lot of people are joking about Nick and Candace Owens having like a wedding and shit. But no, like literally, isn't it? It's so weird that Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens and all of them, even though they claim to hate each other, are all just randomly in Italy. Like, I support with a lot they say about America First and shit, but it's just kind of little. I mean, my theory is I think they're there to meet Pope Leo, because they are in Rome, and Pope Leo has returned to Italy literally the same weekend that they're there. So I'm thinking that they are basically meeting with Pope Leo. That's my conspiracy theory on that.
Okay, Robbie, put the final wire in and press the button, and then the bomb will go off, okay?
All right, so now, unless anyone has any other final takes, now we get to go to our third topic, which is...
I was going to say, though, basically... If you can hear me, sorry about the music. Basically, Twitch devolved around being a streaming platform for people to play games and vlog or talk about to basically just do your
You guys having a good time there. Robbie, go find a gal and have a good time with her. Okay? That sounds like a great time you're having.
It really does sound like a great time. Like, I felt like
I'm outside with my dad. Me and my dad, my niece.
Oh. You see, you learn so much on these shows. That's why I like doing them.
In fact, like all the like I remember, like a lot of the, like literally, like some of your other panels, people be coming on while they're working, like in the middle of working and shit. I remember there was this one guy that you had on that used to literally drive to work.
Oh yeah. Byron is like crazy.
He
and I have to remind Byron,
literally.
Byron, have you taken your schizophrenic pills? We don't want you going nuts in the middle of a work shift. But speaking of people who are going nuts, why isn't Mr. Medicare dead yet?
Oh, I was going to save that for last, but if you want to get to that.
No, let's talk about it now.
Because somebody hasn't killed him yet, obviously.
All right.
Okay. Torin. If you don't know the context of Jim Medicare, he's claimed to be dying from cancer for 7 years in a row, like literally 7 years, and not only that, but
that's what that meme was about.
Yeah, in 2024, he literally said he was on hospice, and he said this like 3 other times that he was on hospice, about to die, and then he disappears for like 3-4 months, and guess what? Randomly, he's just coming back saying, "Oh, I'm fine. I beat the cancer." And then later on, he's back to saying he's on hospice. It's a fucking cycle. That's why I don't believe Mr. Medicare has cancer. If he does, it's not as extreme as he says it is. Like, I'm sure he probably is sick with something. Like, he probably does have some sort of illness. But I just think he's over-exaggerating it for clout. Like, so that's the thing. I feel like he's telling a half-truth. Like, I'm sure he probably got diagnosed with something. But by now, I think he's cured, because there's no way he's dying and going on hospice like 3-4 fucking times and still streaming and still alive 7 years later.
He has AIDS. He has HIV/AIDS.
And that's
Okay,
the thing.
folks.
That obviously, it's like, even though I don't like Jim Medicare, if he does actually have cancer, all the best to him. But it's just like, I feel like he's definitely over-exaggerating. But why are we talking about Mr. Medicare? Why are we talking about Mr. Medicare, the guy that wishes death on other people, but when you do it to him, he moral facts like a little bitch? It's because Mr. Medicare keeps on talking about the sector. He keeps going on this rant saying, I don't pay attention to the sector. I don't pay attention to Ethan Ralph or the Cartering or any of these people. But then he talks about them and talks about them like he knows about them. It's like, come on, dude. You still pay attention to the sector. I hate when these people do that. They're like, I don't pay attention to these creators, but then I'm going to talk about them and act like I do and act like I do care. It's like, bro, the flip-flopping shit is so fucking gay. But yeah, it's a 2-minute clip. I'm just going to let 30 seconds. I'm just going to, react to this because it's not a long clip. It's just 2 minutes.
I see some comments
But
in
yeah,
the chat.
Is there any pre-prospective thoughts y'all want to give before we review this clip of Medicare whining like a little girl?
He a dummy.
He is a dummy. And let's think. Getler does like Mr. Medicare, and I'm kind of glad Getler's on because we actually have like, a little different perspective.
I heard about him recently in like the last year. I didn't know who the fuck he was until then.
Mr. Medicare is basically one of the people that.
I know who he is now.
No, I'm just telling you, like, he's been. I'm surprised you haven't because I know you follow the Gamergate shit, and Mr. Medicare was one of the people that was pushing Gamergate.
I didn't. I wasn't here for original Gamergate per se.
Medicare was one of the original Gamergate people.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so famous because he was basically fighting.
Back then, I was a libtard, just minding my own business.
Oh, that's why then. All right, ready? Let's react to this.
Let me get to them. Just general chat. We'll get to the super chats later. Usually I save them for the end of the show, so if you send something through, I will put it in a segment at the end of the show.
Okay, stop grifting. Let's skip a little bit. I don't want to promote your fucking grift, you fucking lying, dying cancer man.
I always thought it was a pretty weak thing to do, especially if you like stalking the Keno Casino, on my opinion. Put it in a segment at the end of the show. Let me get to them. Just general chat. We'll get to the super chats later. Usually I save them for the end of the show, so if you send something through, I will put it in a segment at the end of the show. A couple of people asking me, hey, Jim, what do you think about the Hamburglar stalking the Keno Casino?
The talk about the quartering stalking the Keno Casino, basically.
My opinion would be what it's always been when it comes to that kind of gay shit. Never been about flagging or deplatforming.
That's a lie, because didn't you flag Mr. Sen? You literally flagged Mr. Sen off of Twitter and you celebrated it. So yeah, cut the shit of, I've always been against false flag. You literally flagged Mr. Sen, bro. We all saw you do it. No one gave a fuck because a lot of people don't like Mr. Sen, but it's like, come on, you flagged Mr. Sen off of Twitter. He has no Twitter anymore because you and your psychopath fans flagged the shit out of him. And you basically celebrated it when his Twitter got taken down. So yeah, this whole fake moral faggy shit of, I'm against flagging, and I'm going to always be against flagging. Shut the fuck up, you lying cancer man.
People always thought it was a pretty weak thing to do.
Unless it's you doing it.
Especially if you look at my history, you'd know that I've had my own
when you flagged Mr. Sen?
Encounters with the Hamburglar when I went on stream with Keem and had a conversation about it. Not sure how that would be shocking or different, or you couldn't assume that would have been my default position, but there you go. Somebody also brought up Styx. I am unaware of what Styx is going through right now. I have no idea. I know apparently there's like a...
I don't know what Styx is going through, but I know this is this and that. Bro,
he's
either you know or you don't know. What was that?
He's rotting, just like you are, just like everyone in internet bud sports is, just like everyone in content creation will ultimately be rotting like a corpse. Because if we normalize making a name for yourself by tearing other people down, you know what's going to happen? We will rip each other to pieces, and the opposition and the mainstream media will completely sandbag us.
Mm-hmm. That's why I keep just pushing, hey, we can't be having all these infighting. We got to go out the mainstream. But for some reason, all these content creators like Jim Medicare want to side with the mainstream media whenever it's beneficial for them. And people like Jim Medicare are the reason why free speech warriors will never be united because Jim Medicare and all these other people that caused this infighting within the free speech movement. And that's why you have everyone just eating each other alive in the commentary community, in the political spaces, in the manosphere. It's not solely because of Jim Medicare. It's just because people just create this infighting over stuff that doesn't really matter when we should be focusing on the bigger picture.
A pattern emerging among commentators on YouTube and elsewhere. Sticks powerbombed a girl. he headbutted her father and threw him through a window. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's not even what happened. See, like, you're just fucking making up shit. It's like, if you don't know, then shut the fuck up. You don't gotta just go be like, oh yeah, he threw this guy out the window and almost killed somebody, but I don't know if it's true or not. This is why we can't trust you, because you're just going off of what you heard instead of what is actually true and what was actually proven.
I wish him the best, and next time, remember, put your entire wrist into the motion when you throw a punch. Otherwise, your fucking teeth aren't going to come out, Sticks. You got to really put some energy behind it. Teach that bitch a lesson. All right? Spoon clanker right in the chin. But I'm unfamiliar with what's going on with Sticks. So I don't.
Just shut the fuck up about it. If you're unfamiliar, why are you commenting on it? Oh my God. That's why I wanted it, bro. This guy is so fucking stupid. I don't know what's going on with Sticks, but I'm going to comment on it anyways.
I don't really know. He might have killed somebody I wouldn't fucking know. I'm sorry.
Then why are you talking about it? Don't talk about something you don't know. Simple as that.
I'm sorry, chat. I guess I'm just completely uninformed about.
By the way, if any of y'all want to give your perspectives, feel free to tell me to pause, but I'm just pausing a lot because
keep at it. Keep at it, Triton.
This guy keeps fucking being stupid. It's hard to let this guy speak when every 5 seconds he's being a stupid piece of shit.
What's going on?
Like, I'm not gonna lie, people like Jim Medicare and Dioria, these people make me fucking mad. That's why I'm always gonna make fun of them when I cover them, because they all fucking stupid.
And in the sector and the wild world, somebody else also brought up Ralph. I wouldn't know what's going on with.
Yeah, you were tweeting about Ethan Ralph like literally 2 weeks ago. Shut the fuck up.
Ralph either.
Lie. I don't know what's going on with Ethan. Yeah, you do. You keep on fucking A-logging him on Twitter nonstop. You haven't let it go. You keep going at him, and he keeps going at you back. Like, bro, why are you trying to lie to your audience and go, I don't know what's going on with him? You clearly do. He's clearly on your mind 24/7. Same with the quartering and the other people.
He's on some kind of cocaine binge with a hooker in Las Vegas. Is he still in Las Vegas, or has he moved on? I kind of lost interest. I'll be honest with you.
You didn't lose interest. You're just pretending to so you could look tough. But that's the thing. Oh, I don't know what's going on with Ralph, but I know he's.
I wonder how many of these content creators would be so tough if someone met them in person and beat the shit out of them.
Oh, Jim would fucking run away and call the cops. Literally, he'd be like, "Guys, help me! He earned that paper and beat my ass." But then on the internet, he said he could beat everyone else's ass.
Moved on to other shit. You kind of get into a zone where you find new interests in things that
I could actually afford martial arts classes.
So I couldn't really inform you what Fat Boy's been up to. I'm sure it's something boring as fuck. King of the non-tent. I'm sure it's.
He's not even that fat anymore.
He's probably.
Yeah, he's not even that fat. Jim's just doing it as an insult because he doesn't like him. And he's like, oh, if Ethan Ralph is such non-tent, then why the fuck do y'all talk about him? If he is so boring, why do you guys talk about him? Just like when my A-Logs keep talking about me, it's like, y'all keep calling me boring, but y'all come and watch. Why the fuck are you watching his content still if he's boring? It's because he's not, in reality, he's not boring. You guys are just saying that just so you can look tough. In reality, he's way more entertaining than you guys because you guys are the ones watching him. He ain't watching you guys. You guys are the ones watching him. You guys are the ones talking about him. You guys are the ones going after him.
Sleeping on stream after doing way too many drugs and getting drunk? Maybe he's beaten another woman or done something. Has he posted more baby photos with bruises all over them and told you that it was bug bites? Is that what we're up to now? I couldn't tell you.
That's not even fucking true. See, that's the other thing too. Like, these people just like to fucking lie. But yeah, that's the Jim Medicare cancer segment covering fucking cancer, man. Fucking that's the thing. It's like if he.
What I've always found interesting about the concept of blood sports is very few people, like very few people involved,
Ethan Ralph's a horrid man. Ethan Ralph's a horrid man. I'm not a fan of him. That's fine. That's the thing. It's like obviously like everyone says skeletons in the closet, but like I personally like Ethan Ralph.
Paid for his sins now. He's just having to live with the consequences.
But that's the thing. It's like we can agree to disagree. Like if y'all like Ethan Ralph, like I personally like Ethan Ralph. But if y'all don't like him, that's fine. Like whoever y'all want. Because at the end of the day, I'm not your e-daddy. Y'all just here to watch my opinions and my perspectives. And I want all my fans to have their own perspective. So if you think someone's horrid, then don't watch them. But and that's the thing. And that's the thing too. It's like whenever I cover someone, I'm not even just covering just to defend Ethan Ralph. I'm just making these points just because I personally don't agree with Jim Medicare or agree with a lot of these people, because a lot of these people are fake moral facts. They pretend to be better than Ethan Ralph. In reality, they're no better than Ethan Ralph themselves. They claim to be against doxing and flagging, but then Jim Medicare will flag Mr. Sen just because Mr. Sen pissed him off because Mr. Sen didn't want to suck his balls anymore. So Medicare flagged Mr. Sen down and basically celebrated it openly on Twitter, and nobody gave a fuck because Mr. Sen is not liked. And that's the problem, is like they go after easy targets and do shit to easy targets like Ethan Ralph, Mr. Sen, and all these other people just because these people are fucked up. So they think, oh, well, that means we don't have to follow the rules because these people are fucked up. And I disagree with that. I feel like if you're going to have rules, regardless if someone else is following your rules or not, you need to follow your own rules, especially if you're the one preaching this shit. If you're the one that preaches false flagging and all of that, you shouldn't be doing that to other people, point blank, period. And that's why I personally, criticize Jim Medicare a lot, is because he doesn't open to his morals. So now I'm going to get final perspectives on it. I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to start with Digny. Digny, what is your thoughts on Jim Medicare pretending not to know what's going on with the quartering and sticks and Ralph, but then talking about them anyways?
Oh, first of all, no one involved in blood sports is a good person. No one.
Not even me. And that's the thing. It's like I don't do doxing shit. It's just like me. It's just like I'm a good man to society, but I'm not a nice guy. I will say horrible shit if you say horrible shit to me. That's just how blood sports is. That's how the internet is. Like in fact, here's the bigger picture. No one on the internet is a good person. Now continue.
Except for children. But in all seriousness, though, we can name so many people, right? Mr. Medicare, why isn't he dying of cancer yet? Styx Hexenhammer has drunken himself to a point where he looks like an evil orc wizard hybrid, to the point where his teeth are rotting. You look at Ethan Ralph, the man who infamously got attacked in Portugal, right? And all the things that happened.
Yeah.
You look at Triple P and Warski. Triple P will eat you, and Warski will turn you into cocaine. Look at Cog. I like a bit of diddling, right? That's Cog in a nutshell. You look at Jean-Francois Guerrier-P. Let me kill my girlfriend and put her in the walls. Look at Nick Fuentes, closeted twink of the furious far right. You look at Richard Spencer. One minute he's hiling Trump, the next minute he's a fucking Democrat. There are endless examples of people involved in internet blood sports, and all of them are bad people. All because that is the nature of the blood sport, which is I have to destroy you before you can destroy me. And yet DSP outlasts everyone for some reason.
Well, it's because he doesn't do anything.
Well, not only that, but
he's just kind of there.
Taran, DSP would get cancer and the cancer would die.
See, but that's how you have to be, though. You literally have to be like DSP, and just no matter how bad shit gets, you still have to just stay in the game.
The dude's kind of oblivious to shit a lot.
But that's why people like DSP, Ethan Ralph, and all of them survive.
Ignorance is bliss.
But it also helps if you've made 70, 80, 90,000 videos on YouTube.
That too. Is there anything else you want to add, Dignity?
One more thing. All the people involved in that part of content creation, they're all going to fail. Live by the sword, die by the sword. It's as simple
someone's going to
as
destroy
that.
them one day, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why I just do
Simple
my
as that.
content and covering political analysis instead of just trying to just destroy people. Because at the end of the day, it's like people think when I criticize Jim Medicare and all these people that I'm trying to destroy them. And it's like, actually, no, they're allowed to exist, and I hope they continue existing. But just like, if they do something I disagree with, I'm allowed to point it out. That's different from having the sword. It's like, I'm not having a sword going after these people or anything like that. I just give criticism. And I feel like that's the thing. It's like, as a content creator, you have to just give criticism instead of living by the sword. Because if you're just starting shit with all these people for no reason and you have no like legitimate criticisms for it, then you're going to be eaten alive, because what you do to others, they will do to you. And that's the thing. And I know people will criticize me, and honestly, they have a right to criticize any takes they disagree with of mine. So that's why I criticize people, because I could take criticism back. But a lot of these people that do blood sports, some of them like to throw the sword, but they can't handle the sword being thrown back at them. Keno Casino is a great example, because they love to flag all these other people in 2023, lie about Feezer, lie about all these other people. But then when the quartering decides to flag them, they cry like little bitches. And it's just like, that's the thing. If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. And the Keno Casino, honestly, it's like, I don't support anyone's free speech is being violated, but they lived by the sword, so they died by the sword. The same thing's going to happen to the quartering. The quartering is going to end up being flagged and having karma. Like, all these people are going to get karma.
Yep.
Is there anything else you want to add, Digny?
No.
All right, Torin, what do you make about all this? About Jim Medicare pretending not to know what's going on with these people, but then talking his ass.
He's a fucking dipshit.
I agree. And I know Getler may have a different opinion because he likes Jim Medicare, and that's perfectly fine. We allow different opinions on the channel. And y'all may disagree with Getler, but just know everyone has their own opinions. Getler, what do you make of Jim Medicare pretending not to know what's going on with Styx, Ethan Ralph, and the quartering, but talking about it anyways?
Well, so it was very brief, mind you, on a show. Honestly, you ever get to a point where you've been watching someone's content to try to gauge reaction on your own show, and you just get to a point where you want to take a break, but people from your show, your audience, wants to bring it up, right? You want to have some semblance of an idea, but at the same time, you don't want to, capitulate too much to what the audience wants. So you give a quick summary of what you kind of have an idea of, and you don't want to delve too much into it, and that's basically what he was doing. Now, mind you, it was a brief summary of what he's cobbled together to capitulate to some of his audience that won't let that shit go, but yet he can talk about what he wanted to talk about on his whole entire show. And if you would have watched the whole thing, which I know you don't have time for,
I've watched it.
Seen.
Don't try to say I haven't watched. I watched the stream because I watched his coverage on Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, and all that. I just wanted to cover that clip mainly because, I feel like it's stupid, because I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's like, don't pretend not to know something. Just talk about it real quick. Just be like, hey, I want to move on to these people, but the audience keeps bringing it up, so I got to just make a brief mention. That would be more respectable than saying, I don't know, I don't pay attention. So clearly he still does pay attention, and he clearly still does care, and that's just my criticism. It's like, he pretends not to care, but then wants to fucking care anyways.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's like he was caught in a catch-22. It's like he's gotta know some stuff, because you're gonna wanna
No, that's
know
fine,
things.
but I think you should just be honest about it. If he was more honest about it, then I wouldn't even care. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be going as hard as I am on this coverage, because if he was just honest and said, "Hey, I don't want to cover it, but I keep up with these people just because y'all won't shut the fuck up about them," then that would have been that would honestly I would have laughed. I would have been like, "Damn, at least he's being honest." Like, I would have actually laughed at that, but he didn't do that. He went about it in such
I mean, he
a
did say several different times he's been out and about doing yard work and shit to try to get his mind off of the horribleness that is the internet as of right now. So, I mean, he's been feeling somewhat okay to go do yard work.
I mean, that's fine, but that's his personal life. And honestly, it's like that. I don't even have an issue with. Like, I just have an issue with the content aspect of things, of him pretending not to know something, but then talking about bringing details. It's like, if he truly didn't know about these people, he wouldn't have known any single detail, but clearly he does. He should just say, "Hey, look, I don't want to talk about these people, but y'all keep bringing them up, so I have to like keep up with these people somewhat." Because that's the thing. Because I'll be honest with Nick Diorio. As much as I want to move away from Nick Diorio, I kind of have to. Even though I don't watch Nick Diorio's content a lot, I still have to kind of keep up with Nick Diorio, because I know people in my audience is going to bring up Nick Diorio, because guess what? We talk about Nick Diorio, so I got to keep up with Nick Diorio, because I already know there'll be a time where we got to talk about him again. And I'm honest about that. It's like, yeah, I don't like the guy, but I can't say I'm too oblivious to everything he does, because I do have to keep up with him and keep up with these other people and shit, because I know I'll have to cover him in the future at some point. So it's just good for me to keep up with him. If Medicare did that, then I think. Is there anything else you would like to add before I get Robbie's perspective?
Hal Sweetie Squad, lol.
All right, Robbie, what's your perspective on Jim Medicare pretending not to know about the quartering sticks and Ethan Ralph situations, but then talking about it like he does know it?
Not the perfect time.
Oh yeah, fucking.
Yeah, I hear a saw in the background.
Oh damn!
Hey Digby, do a Robbie
I mean, he is in the
impression.
garage, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'll tell you this. At least he has a reason for the audio. Okay.
True. And honestly, not gonna lie, this shit's funny, but hey, yeah, it's not a good time.
Look, if you do have technical difficulties, at least show us why. Okay.
Yeah, at least show us why.
I'm talking to you, Black Hitler.
Yeah, Getler.
Look at that view. Look at that view.
I don't know who Hitler is. I know who Getler is. That's me.
So on that note,
anyway.
We are going to get to our final segment, and this one's another funny one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this pulled up, because this is one of my last things in the bookmarks. Oh my god, this is actually fucking funny as shit.
It's like being on a show that's reminiscent of Beavis and Butthead.
All right, ready? All right, so a man has been arrested after selling a fake Rolex that turned out to be real. Despite the watch being an authentic, prosecutors were able to prove the man was attempted to pass the fake off as genuine. So let me get this straight. All right, so let's get this straight. This guy got arrested because he thought the watch was fake. He was trying to pretend it's real, and then it turns out when they did an investigation, they thought that it turned out to be real, but he still got arrested over intent.
Yes,
basically.
Because legally speaking, and I studied law for a long time, I know American law is different than British/English Welsh law, but what makes something primarily illegal is not necessarily the action, it's the intent behind it. That's why we have the differentiation between murder and manslaughter, for example. Murder and manslaughter are exactly the same in terms of action. The only difference between the two is intention. Murder being intentional and manslaughter being unintentional. So I can understand why this has happened. But you can frame it in a way, and Dexerto does frame it in a way where it sounds completely insane from the perspective of someone like of a normie who doesn't understand how the legal world works. Most of the time, not all of the time, most of the time, the reason it is wrong is because of intention. Now, not always. There are some crimes that you can get convicted for, and you didn't know you were doing any crimes. That does happen. But in the most major of instances, in this case with fraud, intent matters. In fact, it's the foundation of fraud. You have to intentionally try to sell a product that you believe is fake, even if it turns out to be genuine. The intent behind it was to sell a fake, deceiving people. Yes, Triton, I agree. I agree a lot. Mm-hmm. Yep.
What?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. He's muted and doesn't know.
Torrin, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my bad. Sorry. I don't know why, but I was muted. Anyway, shut the fuck up.
Torrin is messing with you. Keep speaking.
Oh no, I don't know why, but I pulled an Ethan Ralph and clicked the mute button on accident.
Oh dear.
Ethan Ralph does that a lot, which shout out to him. But anyways, but yeah, I do disagree with this law because and that's why it's good to have a panel, because they can tell me whenever I do that dumb shit instead of chat trolling me. But anyways, back to it. I kind of agree with the dumb law, because at the end of the day, it's like, I know intent matters, but this could have been a life lesson for him of, hey, don't sell fake shit. And he could have, just gotten a slap on the wrist because this was real, and the person that he basically didn't scam the person. So it's like, why charge him? Like, why not just give him like a life lesson of, hey, don't use fake shit. It would basically be a good situation of giving this guy leniency, because he was basically like on borderline of water, of like boiling water, but like he didn't touch the boiled water. So it's like, why burn him for something he didn't even like technically do? It's like, I know intent does matter, but it's like, you could have just gave him a slap on the wrist, in my opinion.
I think this article, in fact, this situation will be a great case study for people studying law, not just in America, but across 100%. The Western world, to give people a concrete example that, legally speaking, people are sent away, especially on the grounds of fraud, on intent.
Yep.
Because you intended to defraud someone by selling them a fake. Even though it was actually genuine, your intent behind the sale was to sell a fake product. So you are going to be convicted of fraud because of the intent behind it.
That's like someone like giving someone a fake $100 bill to deceive them, but then the $100 bill is still real, but that person can still be charged because of the intent.
Yes, quite frankly. And I know it doesn't make sense when you first read it, and it's like, why is this man being convicted when it turned out to be genuine? The intent behind it was to sell a fake product.
Yeah, that's basically the intent, is to sell a fake product. So technically, Also, what's up, Roadkill? How you doing? But yeah, that's the thing. It's like it was there to sell like a fake product, and the intent matters, and the law mainly looks at intent. That's the main thing of convicting people, is the intent. They don't really care about the action itself. They more care about the intent than anything else.
Absolutely. And this is what people have to understand, right? A very controversial example would be the case of joint enterprise, in which, although you did not conduct, say, the fraud or the robbery or the murder, the fact that you were in some ways part of it or aiding and abetting it, even if you just happen to be supporting your friend and you don't know the circumstances, that's joint enterprise, and you're going to suffer the same fate as the person who defrauded or robbed or even murdered someone. It is very controversial. The reason it was put into practice it's just a means of setting setting an example, right? If someone who you're in a similar situation to is conducting an egregious act and you're not doing anything to stop that, well, then you're part of it. Hence the term joint enterprise rather than, a personal thing. I, for one, personally am not in favor of joint enterprise law, but it does have a way of setting examples of basically putting the hammer down, because there are different schools of thought on how to deal with criminality. There's a faction that believes in putting the hammer down, and there's another faction that believes in rehabilitation. In this case, though, we have to understand the intent behind it. Now, if it had been the other way around, if the guy was selling, real, what he believed to be a real Rolex, and it turned out to be a fake, he wouldn't be charged with fraud because there was no intent behind it.
In fact, the person that gave that to him, that scammed him, would be charged, basically, if he thought it was real. But the problem is what got him is the intent.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing we have to understand. That legal system, I know it's a bit different in the United States where this happened, but the legal system in the UK is built upon a premise of common law, because we don't have a written constitution, unlike the United States, which does. So precedent is very important. In fact, the concept of this whole situation and the value of intent to differentiate offenses is built on common law. It's built on precedent in previous cases, and it's rarely changed because we understand the difference between murder and manslaughter, and we understand the difference between defrauding someone intentionally, even though the product turned out to be true, and defrauding someone unintentionally, where you genuinely believed the product was genuine when it was not. So there are instances here, but I do understand why people would, be a bit surprised at this situation.
And also, Nick Merkel in chat says, I think it's likely he would have been charged with fraud if it was fake, even if he didn't know it. I mean, maybe, and that's the thing. It's like, it really depends on the judge, because a lot of judges split. It's like, if it was like, it just depends on like how much they're following the Constitution, how much they care about it, and what they're going to rule on. Because some judges will be cool like that. Because I've heard situations where people have sold stuff they didn't even know that was fake, but yet judges gave them a harsh punishment because the judge themselves are just, they don't give a fuck, basically. So
ultimately, it's not their decision. Ultimately, it's
the jury's decision. Yeah, it also depends on how the jury's doing it, because in some states there are a lot of juries that would just fucking vote guilty, even if it's like the intent, just because the action. It really just depends on what the juries decide and how they feel about it. And I think in this situation, the jury clearly made this guy guilty based on intent. And I feel like that's what the jury decided on this case. So now,
I think though, moving forward, we have to understand this is why a lot of legal systems in the West are very soft on foreigners, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the illegal actions of foreigners, they're all action. Because they don't think before they do things. It's all action, no intention.
All right, so now I'm going to get the panel's perspective, starting because me and Digny already basically gave ours. Torin, what do you think about all this? What do you think about the man being arrested after selling a fake watch that turned out to be real?
I think it's pretty crazy. But at the same time, now that Digny's explained it, I kind of understand it a bit better.
Yeah, because it's mainly because of the intent of it. Getler, what about you? What do you think about the man being arrested after selling a fake watch that turned out to be real?
To be honest with you, Alex Jones said it best. I'm kind of retarded. Because
make a perfect Supreme Court justice.
Yes, see, that's the thing. He did say it best. because this whole thing is retarded. He literally, the dude thought it was fake, but sold like a really good watch, right? And yet, it's so stupid when you think about it. Yeah, they're gonna lock him up because his intent was to sell a fake watch. But wait, no, it's real. So do we lock him up? Yes, we still lock him up because his intent. This is like so fucking stupid.
I know, it is so kind of dumb. Like, I hate that the law is like that, but at the same time, it's just, they just really care about intent like that. And that's why he unfortunately got locked up. And hopefully, he doesn't get beat up because all he did was fucking try to scam on the watch that was real. So hopefully, all the Tyrones and all the people.
Rolex watches are quite expensive. They can range from thousands to tens of thousands of US dollars, and the higher it costs, the more likely you're getting a longer sentence. Because defrauding someone is a very serious charge.
It is, yeah.
So there you go, folks. That's the show.
There you go. That is it. All right. So now, before we end the show, I'm going to get to future plans. I'm going to start with myself. Future plans is just, to go live, like probably either Wednesday or Thursday, like do a stream in the middle of the week, and then do a stream probably like Friday, and then do a stream. Definitely do Sunday streams as well. Definitely still continuing with the content, keeping the show rolling, covering all this stuff. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that I definitely got to catch up on. So much stuff has just been happening left and right. 2026. I called this back in 2025. 2026 is going to be eventful because 2025, it was not that eventful. But in 2026, we've just been nonstop, just having topic after topic after topic after topic after topic. It's just like, whoa. But yeah, I'll just be continuing topics, continuing the show and shit like that. What about you, Digny? What is your future plans?
More videos, more shows, more videos from said shows. It's just the process that I've spent the past few years perfecting. I mean, it's getting to a point now where I could make 3 videos in an hour. I can make a day's worth of content in an hour. Right?
Yeah,
Give me a full day free, I can make a week's worth of content. It's that terrifying. It's terrifyingly efficient, and it's given me more time to experiment and create, just take clips of shows, and because they're green screens, you can get rid of the background and do like funny things of different characters like talking to each other.
Yeah. What about you, Torrin? What's your future plans? Probably just playing video games, but
yep, pretty much.
What about you, Getler? What's your future plans?
Resident Evil.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the show. I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro song, "Crazy Chicks," because that's not copyrighted. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, turn on notifications. That way you never miss an upload. And it's been me, your boy Triton. I'm going to be pulling up the song now, and hopefully we'll see you guys later. Thank you to Digny for being on the network show, like always. Thank you to Torrin, Getler, and all the panelists that joined today's show, even Dan and Robbie, even though they were busy IRL, which is perfectly fine. They still made an effort to show up, and I'm always thankful for that. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the panelists that have showed up. And
well, bye for now, guys. I'll try to take the fort from here. You guys have a great night.
Dude, okay? Y'all take care.
Bye.
She's a demon and I can't resist her all night like this. Say that you're fine, but I know that you're a wreck. There's a chill up my spine with your hands around my neck. handcuffed to your side. And know that I can't live. I'm fixated on asphyxiation, but without you I can't breathe. You never say please. Might as well be deceased. Yeah, I'll make sure the sticks fall for all of your tricks. Oh, I gotta admit, I kinda dig crazy chicks. Tossing, turning, I run through your mind. You kill for me, yeah, you creepy when you're kind. You do so much for me, got me under your legs, yeah, I'm perplexed. I'm it all in your hands, and it's so plain to see. This must be a sign that I'm going insane. Cause you're on my track with your knife to my back, and you're laughing inside my brain. Yeah, I can never say no. Your sanity's off the show. Yeah, I'll take all your kicks, the hi-hats and the clicks. It's another quick fix. You're trying to dig crazy chicks. You're trying to dig crazy chicks. We're kind of dig crazy chicks. Tossing, turning, I run through your mind. You kill for me, yeah, you creepy when you're kind. You could do so much for me. I'm a dog in your hands, and it's so plain to see. Yeah, I'm a dog in your hands, and it's so